Do you like my hair? I'm now washing it every day with the hand pump stuff at the gym.
Yeah.
It's an SG Johnson. What is it? SJ Johnson?
I don't know.
ST Johnson?
I don't know. Never heard of it.
It's like industrial hand soap. That's what I'm washing my hair with. It's like my hair's coming out in
No, your hair, but it looks okay. I can't tell that it's coming out clump. Why don't you not wash your hair there?
I'd have to bring shampoo or something. But
Well, you could. They make travel size things
I know they
shampoo.
do. I own them. I'm trying to be minimalistic.
Oh, okay. It's just one more thing to carry in your bag, right?
That's right. I'll get rid of these.
Mine are gone.
Okay.
All right. Now we have Minty Fresh Breath.
Yes.
Ready to go. Fresh camera battery, brand new. I've cleared out the card. I know. Who am I? We should be ready to go. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. It's been a hot minute.
A long time.
It's been a really long time. The last video was at the end of March, right?
Oh, that's...
We haven't recorded since March because April was full of Stitch North and what a time we've had.
Yeah. It's been a bit busy.
It's been very busy. So welcome back. It's good to see everybody again. It's nice to be back. It's we certainly have a lot of stuff to share today.
You have a lot.
I have a lot of stuff to share today.
Yeah.
So today is going to be a combo Flosstube / shop update video because of the way that we didn't introduce ourselves yet again.
Oh yeah.
My name is Caroline. I am jumping in. My name is Caroline. I am the owner of Evertote.
And my name is Kerri. I'm the owner and dyer of Roxy Floss.
Kerri and I work together. Our businesses are here together in the same workshop in London, Ontario, Canada. And today is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. So the way our shop updates tend to work is that we also generally tend to be stitching a lot of the things that are in the shop or that we're promoting or that we're selling because we stitch the things that we love. So we have a lot of stuff today. A lot of the stuff has been things that we brought in for Stitch North that we've now put in the shop. And there are still other things that were for Stitch North, like our collaboration with Tiny Modernist.
Yep.
That's not going to be released yet until probably the next shop update in the middle of June, which is also when we're going to be releasing the Sampler September releases with Timber Yarns and Maximum Cross Stitch. And they're good. They're really good this year. So yeah, we have a lot of stuff to share. Stitch North.
I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, it was great. It was such a good time.
Yeah.
Both weekends were different in different ways. They were both fantastic and yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Overwhelming as usual.
It is.
Kind of goes by in a blur.
It goes by in a flash, yet at the same time there's so many amazing things happening that you're also in the moment when it's happening, which is incredible.
Hence no photos.
Hence, like, I took two. And one of them was a selfie kind of that we took and sent to Daniel as a joke. And so that was ended up being the one that I shared. Yeah. And the other photo I had was, and I'll post that one here. I took a photo on the very first Thursday night of our setup for weekend one of our crew, our Evertote crew, after we were done setup. You had already gone to bed.
Sounds right.
Kerri is still dealing with some back issues.
Yeah.
So we're going to take
underselling it. Yeah. yeah. It's all positive. Positive.
This video will take the length of time that it takes for Kerri to say, okay, I'm done. Yeah. And then we'll go from there. Bit of a sad note, and I'm not going to talk about it too long because I'm not going to cry.
Still a little raw.
Still a little raw. In between weekend one and weekend two, we had to say goodbye to Luna. So if you haven't heard, if you don't follow us on Instagram, that was the only place that I shared it. So she waited for me. I can't. I'm not, okay. So anyways.
Don't even do it.
Yes, we miss her. She was a fixture here and we miss her. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yes. What have you been working on?
This is super awkward. I do have a finish.
You have a finish. Yeah,
I don't know
so good.
when I did this. I don't know if this was in between weekend 1 and weekend 2. But Lovely Dove by Artsy Housewife, Gigi. Yeah, you're gonna have a can. Okay. Yeah, wrap that up.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Love it. Gonna take that over to the framers.
So details on this.
It's on 40 count Pepita, 1/2, with a Roxy conversion.
That's beautiful.
Those are the details you need it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 count.
40 count, yeah.
Look at the flower there.
Flowers are so cool.
Oh, it's so good. So Pepita is the new lentil. It's the new Roxy Floss Co lentil, and new being that it's been around for at least 6 months now. Yeah. But it's a really great khaki. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to have a finish.
Congratulations.
It's nice to have a finish.
I'm sensing a little theme here with the 2 projects that you've brought to share.
Oh, there's definitely, definitely a theme. Do you want
We're
me to do
fans.
this now?
Yeah, we're
do you want me to
fans.
sprinkle this in somewhere else?
Look, it is going to be a Caroline show today with Kerri the sidekick going ooh and ah. So.
All right. So I did join Gigi Artsy Housewife's Patreon, and this was an early release, but it's now a universal release, and it is called Dreamer. And if you know me, I am
a fan
of flamingos. I've got my little flamingo tattoo, and
is it visible? Aww.
Yeah. Love me. Love
that.
me.
That would be a good screen cap. You should show your tattoo.
Not awkward at all.
Oh, I love that.
So I'm just working through that.
So we do now, as of today, the shop update's happening at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. By the time this video is up, the shop update will already be well and truly live. This was Kerri's conversion. Mm-hmm. And I think actually you had the conversion already done before Stitch North, didn't you?
No, I did it at
Stitch North.
Yeah. And I kind of did, because a couple of people purchased the conversion. Yeah. And I did 2 versions. I did like a really traditional bright hot pink.
Yeah.
Then these pinks that I chose are a little more leaning coral.
Yeah. So the one that's listed in the shop is the one
it's this
that Kerri is stitching currently. Yeah, that's awesome. The linen that you used is
40 count Speculaas.
Which is also, it will be listed in the listing itself. Oh, that's a good floss pack. Look at that. Yeah. Pretty.
Actually, you know what? I think one of these that's not cut. This one, Sugar Plum, is not part of it. I don't even know why that's on the ring.
That's okay. They probably wouldn't have noticed.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Pretend I didn't say that. I take that back.
Oh, that's really good.
I like it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I always have to start stitching to be sure that I like my conversion, because I will change it on the fly, as we all know.
It's really good. What's that green in the leaf?
I think it's the Whiz. Is it the Whiz? Yep, the Whiz.
The Whiz. There's a series of greens now. There's the Whiz, Emerald Isle, and Oz. Those 3 greens are the same color family.
Yep.
That's really good.
Thanks.
Love it. So, since we're talking about Artsy Housewife, we might as well do the shop update part of the Artsy Housewife.
Sure.
Because we've loaded in a lot of new to us charts for her. There's going to be quite a bit of crinkling today because her charts arrive to us in the plastic packaging, and we have the ones that we brought back from Stitch North that we have kitted up with the floss pack inside. So I'm not going to take them all apart.
I'm going to start this one next.
Ignore the crinkling.
I'm just going to pull the Band-Aid off. Sorry.
All right, thank you. Okay, so these are all of them.
Yeah.
So the charts of hers that we now have in the shop are in no particular order because these were releases that were over a few, you know, I think this is actually 3 different GG releases. And so. Dreamer was the latest one. There are 4 new charts in that release. We are bringing in all 4, but we've only done Kerri's conversion for Dreamer in the shop. There are 3 others like Beach Rat and the other seagull one.
Seagulls Love Peaches.
Yeah, Seagulls Love Peaches, and then there's the flower one as well.
I can't remember.
Those are coming. Hannah hasn't done those conversions yet. But we did bring in Geraldine's Flowers, and there's a floss pack. All of the recommended linen, everything is in the listing. The other thing to note, and I'm going to say this right up front, whenever we have a chart that has a Roxy Floss conversion for it, you just go to the listing found on our shop, and within the description on each individual listing, there is a downloadable link to the color conversion chart. So Hannah's done everything. It's all online. It's all listed there. You can go right to the listing, click it, download it, print it out if you're looking for it, because we do get those emails all the time. I don't know what the color conversion is. They're all found online. They're all there. So Geraldine's Flowers, that's one. We've got Byron Blackbird. I love this chart so much. Yeah. Isn't that great? So yeah, focusing through plastic and getting our faces out of the way. I'm going to cover you up there.
I'm having problems with that leaning thing.
Don't lean. It's okay. I'll get it. There we go. Look at this floss pack. Is that good?
Yeah. I personally feel that I need to hire somebody
to stitch everything
for me because there are so many of her charts that they're like must stitches for me.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hello, gorgeous. Gorgeous, which is gorgeous. I mean, this floss pack is so good. And again, you're going to get close-ups of all these on our website itself. So that's another one. Abalonia's Apple Tree with the fox.
Yeah.
This was, I think, a really super popular market release. Gorgeous. Autumnal floss pack. Study in Pink. Gigi's a big fan of designing moths, which, I mean, beautiful. I mean, those pinks, right? That's so good.
There was somebody on Instagram that did one of the moths.
Yes.
In more teals, turquoises.
Yeah, it was. No, it wasn't. In fact, it wasn't. It was the other moth one, which is a study in nature, which is out, and she used our floss conversion, but she did it on a neutral linen instead of doing it on the red linen. She stitched it on a neutral linen, so it gave an entirely different feel to the piece. It's gorgeous,
unbelievable.
And she had also stitched a study in pink as well, so she had both of those.
I remember who it is. I'm sorry if you're watching.
Yeah, not off the top of my head, but gorgeous. And she had them both framed. Beautiful. Midnight Garden.
Amazing.
The sort of light blurple in this is so good. Yeah, that's a nice floss pack. We've got You Got This, because who doesn't love an owl? Drinking a massive cup of coffee. Floss pack. Mellow Yellow. Love this one. Hannah's a huge fan of yellows and oranges, so this one was, she immediately took this one. We actually had a 25 count even weave that was perfect for this chart, and so we actually have listed it in the shop with a fabric option. So we had a very limited quantity, whatever was left over from Stitch North that we brought back. There's the floss pack there. Yeah. And I think one of the big winners for everyone, us included, because I think many of us are fans of the Ginger Kitty, was Vicious.
Yeah.
I know Michelle has started stitching this. I can't remember her. Melissa. Sorry, not Michelle. Melissa.
In this theme, I'll send you this picture. I'll show it to you now, but I'll send it to you. You can insert it here.
Okay.
So on the weekend, Mother's Day here in Canada. Is it Mother's Day in the States?
It is also Mother's Day in the States, but it is not
Mother's Day
in the UK.
So on Sunday, obviously, Bridget came over. Obviously. Why wouldn't she want to come and celebrate me? I'm such an asshole. Anyway, she brought over flowers, and I put them on the buffet, the sideboard in our eating area, and I came home from work yesterday, and I'm like, so we'll insert that picture because it's not fun to come home to that. And you'll notice that the rug is
soaking wet.
Soaking wet. So the glass vase didn't break, thank goodness, but it did tip over on its side in the perfect position that it slowly leaked all, like it was probably a liter of water, at the perfect rate to allow my dining room rug to saturate it up. So it was perfect. You couldn't have done it more perfectly. And it was
they
cats.
were only thinking of
and
you.
by cats I mean Fergus.
Yes.
So Ginger Kitties.
Oh my goodness. That's such an awesome chart.
Yeah,
I love it.
Love it.
Love it.
I love Gigi's flowers. They're so illustrative.
She does amazing work.
Yeah.
So the last thing to talk about for Artsy Housewife is all about me, because it's
you go, girl.
We're celebrating me and my birthday. We did a collaboration. Evertote did a collaboration with Kerri, Roxy Floss Co, and Gigi, Artsy Housewife, to come up with a birthday stitch along. I am turning 50 in July 7th to be precise. And I wanted to do a stitch along. And so I asked Gigi, I sent her some photos of fabric. She chose. It is a moth print. We started selling the stitch along boxes a few months back. We still have some boxes available. We didn't have the fabric at the time. The fabric was late arriving, and so what we've done is we now have bags in the shop that are available separately from the stitch along birthday box. So the fabric that everything was based upon is now in the shop. So we have wedge totes.
Nice.
Isn't it nice? I know. So wedge totes have the boxed bottom and a strap. They come with a Notions pouch. That, wait till you see the lining fabric.
Oh,
isn't that pretty?
Cool.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, and there's a close-up of the moth.
I think I need a wedge tote of that.
So when Gigi was designing the chart, this was the inspiration. And then we had our friend Ange, whose business is called Stuff on Things. And she is the one who does all of our enamel needle minders. She used that as the inspiration for the needle minder. So the needle minder is an exclusive to the box. At the moment, this is only coming in the full birthday box. So that's the needle minder. The bags are sold separately. So with the bags, we have the wedge tote version, and then we have medium flat also with that, and then the large flat, same Notions pouch. They also have the same lining as the wedge tote, but there's also a thread bed. I
really like these ones, how you've chosen not to put a panel
no accent
on them.
Yep.
I love it.
No accent.
It's all about the fabric.
All about the fabric. And I have to actually just let me go and get the thread bed because I had it. It's right here. Oh. You okay?
Yeah, I just, of course, leaned.
Here's the, see this fabric? It's just a
That's so
flat
pretty.
thread bed. So all of the flat bags are actually coming with the thread bed, the notions pouch, and the bag. That's
Nice.
the set there. We also have this fabric as a wedge tote.
It's so cool.
I know.
It's like a thistle.
And
Is it a thistle?
it's
A very pretty thistle.
you could.
Yeah.
But I don't know because it's got berries.
Oh yeah,
up in
yeah. I
there.
see it now. Yeah.
So, but not just a wedge tote. We also have a small flat project bag.
Cute.
And they all have that same lining print. So finally, the fabric that started the whole thing is finally listed in the shop. Those are now available. The birthday box, the collaboration with Gigi, new today in the update is that we now have listed the individual charts. So if you want to participate in the stitch along, but you didn't want to, or, you know, let's face it, these things are pricey, right? You want to participate in the stitch along, the charts are now available just to purchase by themselves. There is a DMC conversion listed in the chart, but we also have options for you to purchase the floss packs chart and linen as well. So the linen that is coming with this was one that Kerri dyed specifically on Gigi's request for a buttery yellow warm.
A glowy, buttery yellow.
A glowy buttery yellow. And so it's wrapped up because we've been packing boxes all week. That is what we have. And it is at the moment only available with, we only have this linen available kitted up with this chart or in the box. This will be a staple in the collection later once we
That's a pretty accurate representation.
Yeah, the cover model.
Might be a little light, but not too much.
The cover model is actually, yeah, pretty close. So, but what we do have new that's in the shop as yardage is a darker yellow, same color family. At the moment, we only have 28 count, but I think we are going to be adding more counts coming. 28 count, and it's called Beekeeper. So it's a slightly darker yellow, and that is currently listed. So chart floss packs for weeds and wildflowers. The only thing that is not listed, and of course there's a few extra goodies included in the box as well, is the needle minder. That's only available in the full box.
Now I know Gigi is having a stitch along for one of her new releases as well that starts, it coincides with your birthday. So she has made a point of saying that if you're doing the birthday box, that can be part of the stitch along as well. So you can either do weeds and wildflowers or the one that she's designated, which I can't remember what it is.
Still have to watch their video.
Yeah.
So I'll have to go and watch that tonight.
So you can double dip.
You can double dip. And you know, when I host stitch alongs, I tend to put up videos over on my other channel, which is Off the Grid Needle Arts, and there will be some giveaways. Usually they're pretty good. Just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside. We have other new bags that are now in the shop. This was a new fabric that we took to Stitch North, and so we have listed our leftover remaining inventory in the shop. And as Hannah is our naming queen, the theme, these bags are now known as the Spring Quackers. And they do have ducks. Look at them. The Spring Quackers. So these bags are now in the shop. They have a beautiful lining. You okay? Yep. Look at that lining. There's the accent. There is a very light metallic, a hint of metallic in the top. More just the color of it has a bit of shine. Notions pouch. We have it in medium flat, large flat, and wedge tote.
Are your wedge totes always one size?
Yes.
Okay.
We used to make a bigger one, but we haven't made bigger ones in a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good size.
Well, it fits an 8-inch square Q-snap.
Yeah.
And we tend to sell more to, most of our business is catering towards cross stitchers.
Yeah.
And not knitters. And there are plenty of other, like, we're going to talk about a few today of the vendors who are at Stitch North. One of them in particular that I'm thinking of right now, Candace.
I can sew make
I
that.
can sew make that, SEW.
Yeah.
I can sew make that. And she's a local Ontario business. She makes beautiful big bags. For example, one that I treated myself to. Check this out.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's one I almost bought.
Look at that. It's a beautiful handled tote bag. Denim-y fabric on the bottom and the straps, and then 2 pockets on the front. There's a zippered, little zippery pocket on the inside. Plain and simple. I brought this home and I showed John and he's like, yeah, that bag looks like you.
Yeah.
And it does. This is really my taste. I love it. So Candace makes beautiful, not just large bags. She makes all kinds of stuff. She also makes scroll rod sleeves.
Yeah.
Because we're always asked, are we ever going to make scroll rod sleeves? I'm sure at some point we will, but she makes them now and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I know you have some, and Hannah just bought one from her last weekend. So
I know that she carries the one size, maybe it's a 24-inch is her standard. I'm probably wrong with that. But I did special order a 30-inch.
Oh, okay. So she will take custom orders. That's definitely good to know. Her name is Candace. Yeah. She's lovely. I can sew make that. She's got a great online shop. Okay, so those are the new bags. We haven't put new bags in the shop in a while. The other thing we're looking to bump up inventory and new products are the small bags, because they are my favorite size, and I think we only have 3 or 4 in the shop, and they're older prints. And so Matt and I have been looking at some of our other fabrics, thinking of ways to get some different smaller bags in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're great if you're a scroll rod stitcher and you just need to have your floss ring.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Or floss folio.
Yeah.
The floss folios will, yeah. Anyways, I have to show you this. I am going to do another video on my other channel next week where I show you, because here's the thing. Everything that I brought back from Stitch North that I either bought or was a gift, and people were incredibly generous.
Yeah.
I have an entire bin full of things that I have not allowed myself to use because I wanted to share them properly first and show you, because there's so many amazing ideas in there.
Yeah.
For your own stitching, as well as table gifts, as well as, you know, just the way people did things was just inspiring.
Yeah. Hannah and I were laughing because we both have a small area in our home, and it's a collection of Michael Jones. And people ask about it, it's like, oh, that's a Michael Jones.
That's a Michael Jones. Michael Jones is a stitcher from Texas, and he is lovely.
Yeah.
He's lovely. He's one of our most favorite people in this world. And
we're going to adopt him as a Canadian.
I think we're going to adopt him as a Canadian, because he's just, I want to hang out with him and just listen to him talk for an hour. He has a radio voice. Yeah. He has a radio voice. And he's just such a nice fella. And he, for the last 2 years, has brought us gifts that he has made, and just amazing.
And then there's this one.
Yeah, this one, so there are a couple of things that I was given. I actually started using immediately at Stitch North because I needed what they were. And so I started using them. So I wanted to make sure I showed them today because, well, you know, I don't know if you're ready for this. I was not ready for this.
This is extra. Yeah.
Our friend Val handed this to me. And I was literally speechless. So this is the 2023 Modern Folk Embroidery Evertote Roxy Floss Co. holiday countdown pattern that we all stitched together last December. And Val finished it into a booklet style project folio. This button here is from her grandmother's button box. Check out this finish here. The way that you close it, it just wraps around the button. I mean, it's so simple and so effective. I love this.
Which means you could totally overstuff it too.
You can totally overstuff it.
You could put your whole Q-snap in there.
And the reason why I wanted to show you the finishing on this was because instead of cutting down the linen from the project and putting quilting cotton around it, Val, oops, sorry. That's my alarm to send my friend Ellen a picture of floss, just because. Instead of adding cotton around it, Val kept the size of the linen the way it was, and she simply quilted directly on the linen itself, creating texture and interest with the beautiful linen, which I don't know why I'd never thought to do that before, but it's perfect.
It is perfect.
And there's the fabric on the back. Her binding is perfect. And then the inside, there's two pockets. I've got thread spool huggers in here. That's the crinkling. There's a zipper on both pouches. There's a Q-snap on this side and a little ring in the top there. I mean, it's perfect. Yeah. We were gifted so many
incredible, thoughtful gifts.
Yeah. So, and I have others, but again, I want to be able to take my time and share them properly. So I wanted to show this one because I had actually started using it and I didn't want it to get put somewhere in my own project bin at home and not share it with you. So again, Val, thank you so much. It's beautiful. So we do still have, sorry about that, we still have holiday countdown boxes for 2024 are of course still available. Oh, I didn't show that.
I just got one yesterday as well.
One of these?
Yeah, another one that I bought. But I bought it on American Thanksgiving, their sale weekend.
Oh yes.
And I just got it yesterday.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So we are talking about Shadowland. Mentioned before that I was enabled by Kerri and our friend Barbie, who were starting their Shadowland stitch along on leap year, leap day this year. And the one that you started is Alpine Garden.
Yeah, Alpine Garden Mandela. It's the one with the log cabin.
The Fraser.
Yes, the Outlander edition.
The Outlander edition. And so I started looking around and I thought, well, you know, I got a big birthday this year and what the heck. I've always wanted to stitch a chatelaine. So I thought, if I'm gonna do it, this is the year. So this arrived during the middle of the whole Stitch North extravaganza and I was afraid to open it. I was afraid to open it because I knew once I got into it, it was gonna be a rabbit hole. And so just yesterday, I finally opened the package because I knew I wanted to share it, but I haven't dug into it yet. I bought Victorian Garden. So I ordered, just like Kerri, I ordered the kit from European Cross Stitch Company, www.europeanxs.com. They make it super easy. They kit the whole thing up for you because kitting these things up is a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's not a joke.
It's frankly completely overwhelming. Yeah. And so I believe that everything I need, I think it might be missing one or two things that were discontinued or something like that. I can't.
Did you get it with the silks that are so hard to acquire?
Well, there's
Those are the
needlepoint
MPIs.
ink.
It's these ones right here. That brand, I can't remember what they're called.
Karen watercolors? No.
No.
I'm not opening this
Yeah.
up right now, honestly, because I don't want to misplace anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Very
keep it
bad.
all secure. But when I'm ready to open this, I want to have a little conversation with you about fabric. And
Yeah,
I'm going
for
to have
sure.
you help me choose the right, maybe dye something specifically
Yeah.
for it. I think I'm going to do it on a linen and not even weave.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't enjoy
That's
working
what I'm
on
doing.
even weave.
I'm doing it on linen.
But I want to do it on the called for count so that the beads sit properly.
So 32.
32.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Now, it's been recommended to me that you can even go to 28 if it's a heavily beaded chatelaine.
I like
But,
28.
Just so that you don't have any crowding with the beads. But I
Right.
think 32 is going to be okay.
I have to-
also didn't want it to be huge.
Yeah, I have to look again at the pattern and I'll make that decision to come up. But I know it'll be a linen. Anyway, so Victorian Garden.
It was Natalie that we met. Natalie? Natalia? No, not Natalia. Natalie.
Yes.
Natalie Thorne, I think, from Edmonton. That we met
Yes.
at the Edmonton
Yes.
retreat.
Oh, the one
She
who had the
suggested
yeah.
28. I mean, her
Oh, it
stuff was
gorgeous.
beautiful, so
Yeah.
how could you go wrong? But I think I did go with the 32.
32? Okay. All right. I'll have to look again. Okay, we did a modern folk embroidery update last week with all of his new stuff. So it was like red sampler. These charts are now all in the shop and the printed copies are here, so they're ready to ship. Queen of the May. And then we had a little red spring sampler. Never Laugh at Live Dragons. That's pretty cool. And then this one, look at this one.
That one's so
The
pretty.
Cologne Cathedral Mosaic.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that one
That's
really spoke to me.
amazing. I love the back cover. I really, really, really dig the artwork and stuff that Jacob is now including. And he says to me, he says, well, you're printing them anyways. You might as well put something beautiful on the back cover. Because, of course, we're paying for color on the front page. You get color on the back page for no extra cost, right? Because the way that printing works is that it is printed like this, right? So you might as well put something beautiful on it. And then, so those were all of the red ones. And then I don't actually have a copy of this with me because it hasn't arrived from our printer yet, but it's on the way. His latest release was DCVH 1785, a Dutch Red House sampler. Floss packs. There are, and I'll put a picture of it up on the screen here of the cover photo. The little animals and the birds that are filling the border of this sampler are such a treat, and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
It's gorgeous.
Very beautiful.
So we are going to be having this one model stitched. So our friend Gwyneth, who is Curling Stones and X Stitches on Instagram, is going to be stitching Jacob's newest design, the Dutch Red House Sampler. And so she's going to be sharing her progress of that on Instagram, and we will...
That's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Gwyneth is going to stitch that one. I have been working on, because this is a combo Flosstube shop update, I get to show you what I've also been working on.
Yeah.
When that chart came out, I immediately wanted to stitch it myself, and I'm like, okay, but I can't stitch everything, and I did. So Gwyneth is going to stitch that one, but I really needed to get a Jacob sampler fix, and the one that I had started is the In the Garden of Holland.
Oh, yes.
So I pulled that out and I took that with me. I took a week of vacation last week and I went up to the cottage all by myself. It was pretty good.
That is the only way you can vacation.
It was really very needed and very nice. And this was one of the things that I worked on. So in honor of his new sampler and the fact that I can't stitch everything, while Gwyneth stitches the new one, I am going to be working on In the Garden of Holland. So this is our conversion done by Hannah. Now, interesting observation. When Hannah does the floss conversions for these charts where, say for example, Jacob has not done the conversion himself, but he's, you know, totally on board with us doing the conversion, Hannah takes his DMC list and converts the DMC list. She does not go off the cover photo. She takes the numbers from the inside and then she puts together a cohesive palette of Kerri's flosses based on the DMC list. So you'll notice that there is a paler pink floss on this tree here. There are two colors in there. There's an ecru and there's a pale pink, which I believe is afternoon tea, which in the chart, it calls for DMC, I want to say it's 3787. Because I was a little, when I stitched it, I'm like, oh, that's really light. Why would we have picked one that was so light? And I thought, well, Hannah doesn't usually, you know, do things willy-nilly. There's got to be a reason. So I went into the list and I looked up online a photo of DMC 3787, or the one that corresponded with that symbol, if I don't have the number quite right. And I tell you, her conversion was spot on. So the cover model, the color of the flowers, and you have to remember that the majority of Jacob's cover models are digital representations of the color. So the stitched version and our floss pack matches the charted colors, and that's how I'm going to stitch it. If you decide that you like the cover photo and how that looks, then, you know, there's enough other darker colored flosses in the pack, you could easily swap it out for anything that you liked. But I actually really like the subtlety of that little stitch there. So anyways, there you have it. In the Garden of Holland, that's what I'm working on.
Nice.
One of the things I'm working on. So how you doing? How's your back?
Okay.
You're okay? Still doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay, don't lean.
No.
All right. One more thing before we leave Modern Folk Embroidery, because we had another linen that we've added in that we took to Stitch North that Kerri dyed, and so good. So introducing Smooth Sailing. It's beautiful, Kerri.
Thanks.
It's so beautiful. Look at it.
I'm quite happy with it.
It's gorgeous. Smooth Sailing. So we now have Smooth Sailing listed in the shop as both yardage, but we've also kitted it up with something. We have had 4 hanks of an oops floss hanging around, and when this linen went into Hannah's office, she said, you know, that would look really good with that. And I said, it is absolutely perfect with that. So we have 4 hanks worth. Each hank is worth about 70 cards of floss, of a very one-of-a-kind floss that has now been named Sailboat, because you need a sailboat to go smooth sailing. And it is a very pale variegated blue-white. And it is absolutely perfect on this linen. And we think that the perfect chart for it is Modern Folk Embroidery, The Wings of the Dove. So this chart, even though it's green, I want to stitch it on this.
Yeah.
With this floss. So we have this actually kitted up for you in the shop.
Yeah,
with this
it's great.
chart. Isn't that amazing? So Wings of the Dove. I've wanted to stitch this chart forever. It's so pretty. the details on this. Gorgeous. So as is the case with all of Jacob's charts, we only carry the physical copies of his charts. If you're a PDF stitcher, you can access those on his website, which is www.modernfolkembroidery.com. We also have this available in Ada across the counts. So, did you do 46 count? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't remember. This was prior to,
Yeah.
This was March, I think, right?
But you're re-dyeing this week. Did you want to try
I
some
am.
46 count?
Oh, for sure.
Maybe just a couple yards?
Yeah.
It's going to be pretty dark.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so pretty. It's absolutely beautiful. One of our stitchers at Stitch North kitted it up with Holiday Town, the Modern Folk Embroidery, the one with the... It's kitted up on green linen, I think, or we stitched it on a neutral linen. Anyways, Christmas design on blue with a white floss. Legendary was I believe the floss that she chose. Just beautiful.
Yeah. And I should probably mention that I regularly have 56 count in my inventory. So on a weekly basis, I think I'll probably just be dyeing it through the really light neutral colors. But there's nothing to say if you have good enough vision to...
If you want Night Owl on 56 count,
I'll do it. Just
Kerri can do it for you.
Drop an email and I can dye that
let
up for
us
you.
know. Yeah, 56 count. I mean, but also Speculaas and porcelain.
Yeah.
On 56 count.
Yeah, it does come up quite a bit lighter.
Yes.
So that just fair warning.
But it looks like beautiful linen-y paper.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
it's incredible.
beautiful. We should both try little things of it.
I know.
Totally forgot about this, and it's like the one thing I've been working on the most over the past 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
The Linnets song.
That kitted up was unbelievable.
I know.
When you actually pull
I
the
know.
recommended colors with the recommended
Do you want to know?
linen,
Do you want to know?
It's almost like Jacob knows what he's doing.
No, wait a minute. No. Do you want to know who put together the recommended colors?
Oh yes, please.
Me.
Oh, well, it's
Me.
almost like you know what you're doing.
I did this one. But I mean, Jacob told me what he's looking for.
Yeah.
I'll give him that. We'll let him
Okay.
have that.
All right.
He's told me what he was looking for, and I sent him some photos of some color options, and I said, you know, I always really love Lady Marmalade and Great Lakes together.
Yeah.
And so that is a visual representation of those colors. They are
Oh,
gorgeous.
the live.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. The live view.
But wait until you see this.
What? Yeah.
When he first sent this to me, I told him he'd made a mistake.
Because that always
I
goes
said, Jacob, you sent me the wrong thing. You've got the wrong chart on the back. I said, this is a totally different chart. And he said, no, it's not. And so I had to make my brain work differently to see it. But this is the same chart. It's just what he has done is removed all of this and then duplicated this. He's flipped it so that this part is doubled, mirror image,
yeah.
excuse me. This part is mirrored, and then these two birds are completing the top. So there it is. So you're basically getting two charts for the price of one. When I was helping select the colors for this, and I picked the colors on the Night Owl linen, I immediately knew that that was what I had to stitch. So, and this was my Stitch North new start.
What was a rocky start?
It was a rocky start.
We couldn't get the stitching
No.
little den set up properly.
No, and I am fussy. I am very particular.
Yeah. Oh, so am I.
Yeah,
For sure.
right?
Absolutely.
I like how I like it, and if something is a little off, it's like it's like trying to wear a hair shirt, and it's just not. So my linen wasn't serged, which those loose little threads at the side, they drive me bananas. So linen wasn't serged. I didn't have scroll rods for it. I didn't have enough space to set up my stand because of course we were behind the table at Evertote. And so I was trying to stitch in hand on black linen.
And then at one point you tried putting it in a Q-snap.
I tried putting it in a Q-snap, but it drives me mad when the Q-snap isn't the right size for the project and you've got the fabric that you know you're gonna have to stitch on. Like, I can't,
Caroline doesn't dig on this.
I can't do that. I just can't do it. The design has to, well, you know, but that's okay because that's gonna fit, right?
Well, right.
But
I mean, this is a Kerri move.
Yeah,
right?
you don't cut your fabric down.
There's the design, and I'm in the middle of a wide corner.
She's in the middle of a yard of fabric. She's not cutting it down for anybody.
No.
But yeah, I can't do that. I literally, I can't do that. I love using Q-snaps, but they have to fit. The project has to fit inside, and I don't like extra fabric.
Yeah.
And so everything about it was wrong. And so I put it aside. And that's actually what I was using Val's portfolio for. And so when I went to the cottage, I sewed it onto my scroll rods and I put it on my frame and I started stitching. And it was so, so good. So, so good. So let me show you. I'll put the thing behind it so you can see it properly. What?
Oh man.
Look at that.
It's amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, you've done a lot on that.
I know, because I just can't stop. So this is a 32 count Night Owl fabric, Roxy Floss Co. It's a wide 1/8, that's all you need. It's not a big design. And the two flosses that I'm using are the two that are listed in the chart, Sand Dollar and Pacific. Those are my two colors. There's my stitching.
Those are two colors that I wouldn't typically put together, and then it just happens. It's magical.
Isn't it good?
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Like this is one of those like when I felt this way when I stitched Isabella's heart, which you can't quite see. Let me tip you back. There it is. See that up there?
Yeah.
Isabella's heart on the blue linen.
Right there.
Yeah. Pink and blue and cream on,
yeah.
No, pink and red and cream on a blue linen, which normally we'd be like, like, am I going to a baby shower? But it was such a great stitch and so addictive and so fun and beautiful that, you know, I couldn't put it down. And I'm feeling all the same feels about this stitch. I love it. So all of project details will be in the description box below. Oh, this was another thing that I started using. And I know that, here's the thing. When you're at Stitch North, and you have to remember, we talk to so many people, and we feel like we know these people, but trying to remember names is a challenge when, especially when you're only talking for a couple of minutes, and then you're immediately talking to somebody else. I can see your face, I can see your beautiful blonde hair, and I can remember our conversation when you handed these to us because we immediately had a chat about how amazing they were.
Yeah. And
I think your name was Mary, but I suspect I'm wrong. So you'll know when you see this. Please know that I love this and I have been using it. Look at that. This is beaded. This is entirely tiny, tiny little bead. She's got my initials on little beads there, 2024. And look at this cabochon. It's got Roxy on one side and Evertote on the other.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Amazing.
And so I'm using that with my floss. I absolutely am digging this project. Like, and I don't want to stop. It's not that big. You can see I've already got a fair bit done. This is all, you know, this isn't gonna, I say it's not gonna take a long time, but you know what I mean? It's not like all fill in there.
Yeah.
And these little birds that are all, it's easy stitching where you're stitching, you know, the relief. It's so addictive to watch the design come to life. You can't stop. So fun. Love it. So that, I worked on that. And because I was, you know, all by myself with time on my hands, I worked on two other things. So these are older, these were not in this shop update. Obviously you're gonna recognize these. This is Cosford Rise Stitchery in the Dale. This was released in our last shop update. How cute is that?
Super cute.
Yeah, I love it. And I am stitching this on a 16 count, I know, 16 count Aida.
I'm impressed.
Panettone, which is the called for color. Cover model is on 32 Panettone. Mine is on 16 because I have been wanting to have another Aida project. And this is, as you can tell, I've done a fair bit. It's really been super enjoyable. It's one of those things where, because it's Aida, you can still stitch on it at night after work because you can see the holes even if your eyes are a little bit tired. So it's a trickier design because you have to count, but easier stitching. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's so cute. So the whole family of ducks is all there now. The pond is done. I will say this, if you are stitching this design, if you have purchased the floss pack and are stitching this design on a 28 or 32 count, be careful with your sage floss. That's the green for the grass, because it's super tight floss allowance for one skein. And I actually, someone who shall remain nameless at my house, I believe threw out some of my sage that I had set aside on my stitching table, and I am pretty sure that my one skein will not be enough, because it wasn't just one. Like I had 3 rounds of like 4 strands, and I think it got thrown out.
Oh dear.
So I had to dig into a second skein of sage floss, which of course the packs don't come with, but you know, I have a source. So I was able to do that. But what I'm saying is be really frugal with that green floss to make sure that you're gonna have enough to complete.
Definitely don't use the sage to baste your project onto the scroll rods. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't, and go right down. Don't, you gotta be frugal with that floss, okay? No 3-inch orts, okay? You want a 1-inch ort.
I'm also hearing that this is not the project for me.
We are not wasting floss here. We are using every spare centimeter of sage floss. The other one I know that you're going to be using a lot of, you're going to want to be cautious, is oh, that's the other thing. The colors in the floss for the caramel and the roses are gold. The symbols are swapped. And what happened was Kelly, when she put her floss back on the floss tags, she switched them. So when she went to do the chart, the charting, that's how she replaced the names. It's very clear when you're actually stitching what has happened, because you look at the cover model and you're like, that's not right. And that is what happened. You can see, you see the mama duck down here? You can see that the mama duck is lighter and the wing is darker. Well, my mama duck is switched. See that? And that's how I knew something was up, except I like how she looks, so I'm not changing it. But it matters when you get to the rabbits a lot. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you do it right when you stitch the rabbits. So that's In the Dale, Cosford Rise Stitchery. It's been a pleasure. 16 count Aida, 2 strands of floss over 2. I was a stitching machine last week. There was one more project that I worked on. I love this so much.
Oh wow.
This is Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Lori Pengelly, and this was model stitched by Chris Canaday, who also model stitched another chart that we're going to share with you today. I love this Santa. He's magical. Yeah. And this was a collaboration with Lori that we did last year. It's on Panettone linen. And look at that. Look at his cloak.
Yeah.
So,
can you turn it?
Yeah.
Forget about that.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Isn't it good?
It's really nice. I love it.
Yeah. So, this cloak is intensive.
Yeah,
This
you
cloak
think?
is no joke. Let me tell you, it's intensive. Also, FYI, one of these flowers, or one of these Quaker motifs in the middle here,
Yep.
is
Sorry. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna observe from over here.
you know, we could take
I
a
was-
break. Do you
I
want to
just
take
need
a
to
break?
stand up first couple minutes.
Okay.
So go ahead.
Let me
Keep
talk.
talking.
I'm gonna finish talking about this, then we'll
Okay.
take a little break.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the motifs in here. Now it's gonna, don't bend. It's gonna focus on you. In the chart has an extra stitch. I was on autopilot. I stitched these all exactly the same, and so when I was doing the end fill-in bits here, my counting was off. So one of these has an extra stitch in it.
I hate it when that happens.
I ignored it, and I'm not fixing it because it doesn't throw off anything else that's above it. It just means that the count on here is different, and one of these flowers is not one square to the other way. It's fine. It's fine. So now my entire bottom is finished.
Nice.
Yeah, love it. All right, let's take a little breather.
Okay.
We'll be back in a moment. We're back. I am not making her do this,
No,
just
no,
to
I'm
be
fine.
clear. They're gonna think that I'm like, you know, tied you to the chair and making you do this shop update.
No, I'm good.
All right, so let's carry on with it, shall we?
Yeah.
So I shared everything I was working on. I did a lot of stitching. Oh, I did use, because I told you I was going to show the things I was gifted. My friend Lisa. Lisa from Germany made these pouches for us, and I have my Santa floss. Because I needed a pouch for my floss, and it was perfect. So thank you. Thanks, Lisa.
I want to say that all these gifts that people give, I hope people don't think that we just throw them in a drawer and it's like, nah.
Oh, Lordy.
I value and cherish everything that we're gifted,
Floss
and it reminds
drops.
me.
You know, rings of floss,
Yeah.
little thread beds, little needle books. I mean,
You attach memories to these
Yeah.
things, and I love using them
Yeah.
weekly. It's
yeah, it's really, it's a special, you know, people brought table gifts, but also gifts where they brought little baskets of pins or stickers, and they took them around the room as a way to meet people, meet new stitchers, and it was really wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
Did you see Natty posted in her Instagram, on her Instagram, and I'll post these photos here actually because I just really thought this was wonderful. Whenever someone gifted her something of Stitchy kindness, she took their photo.
Oh, that's a
And
good
then
idea.
she posted a collage of like 2 slides worth of new friends who had gifted Stitchy kindness at the
Yeah.
retreat, and it was just really nice.
Yeah.
It's really nice. Okay, so we have 3 more designers to tell you about today. So let's start with, these are more samplery in style and substance than Evertote and Roxy Floss has typically done in the past, but I find that we are gravitating towards, I'm gravitating towards more sampler stitching in my rotation, and I'm really enjoying it. And also working with a few more designers more personally, using Kerri's supplies and developing color palettes with designers specifically for their sampler reproductions has been kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. So I'm gonna start with Linda Vinson first of Needle Made Designs. We are bringing 1 chart now of Linda's, and there is another one coming, but I'll tell you, the one that we're releasing in today's shop update is a sampler called From Rebecca Stewart 1836, and this was a market release, I believe, from 2022. So Rebecca Stewart 1836. I met Linda at the attic, and had the best 45-minute conversation of my life. Inspiring, incredible conversationalist. We just got on like a house on fire. And we looked at her models together, we chatted about them. I saw this one on the wall stitched and I was immediately drawn to it. The color palette, everything was just absolutely gorgeous. And so we did discuss, you know, doing our own conversions here with Kerri's Floss and Linnets, and she was all in. So this is the one that we're starting with. It's Rebecca Stewart, 1836. It's an absolutely beautiful sampler. I am planning on stitching this myself, and this floss palette, you guys, it's so good. It's so good. So I'll show you the floss, but I might also pop in a photo of it, of our shop listing, so that you can get a better idea of the palette. It's gonna be better than me showing you a clump of floss. Look at those colors. It's so good. This blue here, look at this. Thin Air, one of our holiday countdown
Am I too
colors.
far over here? I'm feeling like we've got some pandemic distancing going on here.
You've definitely moved away from me. Do I smell? Do you want me to move your chair?
No, I'm good.
There we go.
That's a little bit better.
Okay. Yeah. You okay?
Yeah, that's good. That feels a little bit better.
All right. So this is,
see that one?
Yeah, Needle Made Designs. The recommended linen that we're
so
going to be
pretty.
stitching it on is Speculaas. So,
That's gorgeous.
isn't it?
Love it.
Yeah. All little motifs.
Yeah.
All little floral motifs that just each one, it's like one of those designs where each one of them feels like a mini finish.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Yeah.
I was just
And the border
thinking
is
that.
gorgeous. The border's gorgeous.
Yeah, it is.
I'll insert photos here from our shop listing so that you can actually get a better close-up. But
I know
it's
you
a sampler
probably
that I'm
won't,
really
but
excited about.
You probably won't because it's not your style, but you so carry those threads all the way through.
I'm not doing that.
No, you'll do each little bubble, bury yourself.
Well, bury myself. Hang on a second. The thing is, well, I would, so you're talking about the little floral baubles.
Oh yeah.
I would stitch it, I would flip it, bury the thread, and stitch the next one.
Oh.
I wouldn't cut the thread,
Yeah.
but I would bury the thread in between each one.
That's got cross country written all over it for me.
I can't do it. I can't know that there's a bunch of loose floats, right? To use a knitting term. There would be floats on the back of my work. They have
Look
to
at
be
this one.
tacked down. Oh, that
I
is,
went from there down to there.
you went like 20 stitches across. I
Oh.
can't even look
Yeah.
at that. Can't even look at
It'll
that.
get covered
I
up.
know,
It'll
but
be fine.
why? Why would you do it?
It'll be fine.
Why would you do it? So, Needle Made Designs, Linda Vincent, welcome to the shop. We cannot wait to see and work with more of your designs. Fantastic. Okay, next up, we have a crowd favorite, Teresa Vanette, Kitten Stitcher. We did announce this at, Stitch North. Speaking of Stitch North, registration has been open for a while for next year. One of the weekends is sold out. We do still have some space in weekend one.
2 sold out, I think.
2 sold out. Weekend 1, I think we still have 50 spots left in weekend 1. We do still have spots in our October Stitch North retreat. For this year, I think we still have 30, 40 spots open. So if you want to come to Stitch North and you're from outside Canada and you've always wanted to visit Canada, we put on a pretty fun show.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
And there's going to be a hamburger night this time. So
I think I'm going to go to both next year.
you think you'll come back?
I think I'll go to
Think
both.
you'll come back?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it was a good
Cool,
time.
cool, cool.
Good time.
So this October is this is going to be the only one that we run like a regular Stitch North where it's just like a gathering retreat. My hope is that the October retreat will become a designer focused event. So just like we did Jacobpalooza last year in October, we are going to be bringing that back in a format next year, 2025, with Jeanette Douglas. So Jeanette Douglas is going to come. It is not going to happen in London, Ontario. It's actually still going to be at the same hotel where we run Stitch North. in Brampton, Ontario, which is, it's a lot easier for our international visitors or anyone who has to fly in. It's a lot easier to get to than coming here to London. So
without having to go right into Toronto.
Yeah. So we should tell you, I don't even know. We don't have permission to tell her story. It's not our story to tell. But let me tell you that Angie, Tiny House Stitcher, has got a great travel story.
Yeah.
So if she hasn't told it already, I'm just gonna leave that out there.
Yeah.
You're gonna want to find out what happened to Angie, the Tiny House Stitcher, when she came to Stitch North this year. It's a great story. So October 2026, we've invited Teresa Vinette, Kitten Stitcher, to come and have a little event with us. So we're super excited about that. And we are starting to bring more of her charts into the shop and converting them to Roxy Floss Co floss. So the newest ones that we brought in that Hannah has done conversions for, Ragamuffin number 3, Hannah's Sampler by Shakespeare's Peddler. This gorgeous beauty of a chart. Of course, Hannah requested that we bring this one in, so how could I say no? And the floss pack is divine. It really is really gorgeous. So this is what I'm saying when we include the conversion in the pack. It's either gonna look like that, and if this is not included in your floss pack, you can find the conversions online. This chart is amazing. It really is. It's a big, big chart. All of your fabric requirements, Hannah has done the math for you. Everything is listed in the listing. So if you're looking for linen, if you're looking for all that kind of stuff, just read through the description. Everything, all of the details are there for you. This is not a small chart, but it's gorgeous. So there's a little close up there for you. Stitched by Chris Canaday. Love it. I met Chris at Jacobpalooza, and we had, again, just like with Linda, we had one of those conversations where there's just sometimes where you just hit a sweet spot at a retreat where it's quiet, and if you can catch those moments with a fellow stitcher, and if the conversation just happens to hit the right way where all of a sudden it becomes really personal, something that you share with the other person, that they share also similar situation or life event or anything like that. And if you just manage to hit that sweet spot, it just becomes one of those magical moments that you'll remember. And I had one of those with Chris Canaday at Jacobpalooza.
Nice.
And so, yeah. So I follow her on Instagram now, and she's a beautiful stitcher, clearly, as you can see. So this is new in the shop. We also brought in, there's the red one. I didn't bring it upstairs with me. It's the Christmas Red Deer pin pillow. Pennsylvania Red Deer? I can't remember what it's called. I'm butchering this. But we actually kitted it up with linen at Stitch North. I'm not sure Hannah's included it in this update. I'll have to check into that. Anyways, if it is, I'll put a picture of it here. If it's not, ignore what I said.
Those trees.
Right?
I love those trees.
I know. 2 Skinny Dogs. Martha Mulder, 1859 by Shakespeare's Peddler. This is a must stitch for me. I actually already have this kitted up. We kitted this up at retreat, for retreat, so we have these kits ready to go with 36 count linen. You'll see in the listing itself there's an option to kit me up, and we have them ready to go with 36 count dirty porcelain. Yeah, 36 count dirty porcelain, and the floss pack is absolutely gorgeous. This pink.
Oh, the birds.
Right? I know. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So again, I will be coloring the 2 dogs in my design. One will look like Luna and the other one will look like Daria. And I might sneak in a little beagle somewhere too if I can for Eddie. Then it would be three dogs, but Eddie wasn't skinny. Eddie was the chonkiest beagle. He wasn't overweight, but he was solid.
Oh yeah.
He was 45 pounds of
Oh my.
solid beagle. And it was really, what's the word? You trick, like your mind is tricked by what you see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What's the word? I can't think of the
don't know.
word. But you look at him, you think, oh, he's just a little dog. And then you go to pick him up, it's like, he's like a boulder. He was a boulder of a dog. But yeah, he was a good boy. Okay, last but not least, from Kitten Stitcher in the releases. There's one or two other charts, but I think we may have released them before. This one for me is, I am going to be stitching this one. I drew my eye right from the moment I saw it. And I'm actually going to relate this stitcher to another, this chart to another design that I'm going to talk about in a minute from 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers. Matilda Clark, aged 10 years. Everything about this is, I just absolutely can't stop staring at it. It's gorgeous. Linen and floss. We have this kitted up with 40 count. The borders on these charts are a little, the margins, so check your stitch counts. Wide quarter is enough for 40 count, but again, you might only have 2 or 2.5 inches borders on your sides. We should have all of that information in the listings. So Matilda Clark, I am actually going to be stitching this as a stitch along with a couple of people that I convinced to buy this at Stitch North, because this was one of the things that I was so excited to kit up for retreat, because I wanted to stitch it myself. And then no one bought it. And I was like, how is that still there? Why isn't it sold out? Because it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread, and people don't understand how good this is. And so our friend Rhea came over and she's like, so how's it going? I'm like, so what do you got? And I said, I gotta show you this chart because I know you're gonna love it, and you gotta see this chart, and we gotta do a stitch along. So Rhea happily let me enable her, and she is Blue Coast Stitching on YouTube. I'll put in her YouTube channel here because I know that she's already posted a video, and her screen caps is her showing this chart. So this is going to be a very informal stitch along. I also think that Shiloh bought this chart as well. I managed to convince Shiloh that this was a really good idea. I'm so excited about this chart. Can't wait to stitch it. So now, this leads me into talking about the final designer that we have on our roster for the gigantic shop update. And the reason I have left her to last is because Leanne of 1897 Schoolhouse Samplers sort of wraps up for me the whole year between Stitch North 2023 and Stitch North 2024. Leanne, we collaborated, the three of us collaborated last year on a 9-patch idea design where Evertote made a 9-patch small cross-stitch bag. That was the project bag, and then it went along with a small chart that was a small motif based on a sampler in Leanne's collection that had many motifs. And then she did 5 designs, and they were released throughout the year. Well, the 5th part was released just a couple months ago. We wrapped it all up at Stitch North this year, and the finished project of Leanne's, this is Leanne's finished project. Ta-da! Look at that. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, really well done.
This is phenomenal, and it's exactly what I saw in my mind with the scope of this project. Putting these designs together, putting these stitch pieces together into a finished project where it was like a combination of crafts. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Look at the lining fabric. What? Leanne had a friend of hers who she works with at Upper Canada Village.
Oh my god, I just noticed
Right?
that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Eating the strawberry.
It's absolutely perfect.
I don't know why I didn't notice
It's
that before.
absolutely perfect. So these are, I don't remember the names of each individual charts, but they're all on our website if you like the 5-part design. So this was part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5 in the middle. That's how they were released. Okay, we still have them listed as individual charts. I have finished 3 of them. I am currently working on part 4, and I have a different finish in mind for mine. But wait, there's more. At Stitch North this year, Leanne released the whole sampler. What? The whole sampler is now available. It's called Soaring with the Wind. Air conditioner just kicked on. It's a bit loud. Sorry about that. I'm going to take it out of the plastic so you can see the... So this is the original sampler as the cover. So Leanne has charted the entire sampler. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Soaring with the Wind. It is now available. It is charted with Roxy Floss Co. We have floss packs available. These charts are ready. The floss pack, we have it. We've got it all. It's ready to go. Some people who didn't want to stitch the smaller parts, they were hoping that the full sampler would be released. Here it is. So Leanne and I chatted a fair bit at retreat, and again, this is where these things happen, where you have these inspiring conversations. And it's kind of, you know, you guys are networking with each other. The Stitchers are networking with each other. Well, we're networking as well in special ways. And Leanne as a Canadian designer, us as Canadian companies, starting to work more together. And we're kind of excited about, you know, what's to come. And so what we have talked about doing with Leanne is starting to bring in some of her older charts, convert them to Roxy Floss Co, and share them with you through our mediums. So I showed you Matilda because Matilda's color palette is very, very, very similar to a color palette of one of the other charts that we're going to be bringing in from Leanne, which is called Prudence, Love, and Toil, Sarah Alden, aged 10, 1897. I'm going to put the photo up here on the screen because, sorry.
You're so good looking. Seinfeld reference.
Is it? Oh, from... Oh. I just sneezed. So we have sent the model, the chart and the supplies to Carmen. Carmen of Cardamom Pins is going to be model stitching this design for us. You'll be able to follow along on her progress on her YouTube channel and her Instagram feed, which is at Cardamom Pins, and I will tag her below. And when I saw that chart on Leanne's stand, immediately I saw the color palette and I took it off the shelf and I took Leanne over to the wall and I said, look at Matilda. I said, look at these 2 samplers together. They're like a beautiful matched pair. And so the color palettes in both Matilda as well as Prudence, Love, and Toil, I think they're going to look amazing on the wall next to each other. And I can't wait to see Carmen's progress on it. I wish I was stitching it myself. I wish I was stitching it myself. Like I saw it, I'm like, I want to stitch that. I can't stitch everything.
Can't stitch it all.
I can't stitch it all. We have one more 1897 chart that we are adding into our shop update today. So that makes 3 designs from 1897 that we're adding in today. This is Catherine Rees, and there are 2 samplers in this chart while plying her needle and blooming in her own time. And there they are. So these 2 samplers are included in this chart. And as usual, here is Hannah's conversion.
Oh, that's really nice.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of those great situations where you get 2 charts for the price of one. And she has in her photo, you can see the original samplers there as well, which I love. I love Leanne's, her descriptions of the samplers, the information that she gives you on her work, as well as, you know, her writing about her work and the samplers is such an interesting read. Very worthwhile. I think that's it.
That was a big one.
I think I've reached the end.
Yep.
Thanks for keeping me company today.
You're welcome. Yeah. And I only have...
The battery died right at the end. I swear, brand new battery, but we've been talking for a while. You've been very, you've been a trooper today. I know you're...
Oh.
It's not your back, so that people understand that I'm not actually being cruel and making you sit here.
No, it's, well, I have a few things going on. So I herniated a disc last November, and that has sent me on this roller coaster ride of my osteoarthritis has gone all crazy. It's on a OA bender. And that has actually started compressing nerves in my back, and now it's actually causing damage and muscle weakness. So yeah, I'm working with a rehab person pretty intensively to try to get those nerves uncompressed. And in the process, he's killing me. My butt is really, really sore. Like when I sit down, it's stabbing pains. So yeah, there's a few things going on, but yeah.
And this is from the exercises that you're doing with him in order to help correct the...
Or make it livable.
Yeah.
Without being in pain all the time, because chronic pain sucks. So
yeah.
Yeah. Just, you almost have to relearn everything. You have to relearn how to move.
And your stitching posture as well, right?
I'm finding it really difficult to stitch. Obviously, I have to find a better ergonomic way for stitching, because what I've been doing for 3 or 4 years has not been correct, apparently. So I need
You should tell them what he said to you about how you're those muscles, right?
Yeah, he said, what's wrong with your traps? These muscles here, he says, why are they so overdeveloped? He said, are you leaning forward a lot? Cross stitch, knitting, working at a counter, dyeing stuff. Yeah, you can say that. You can
like
say
this,
that. So
right? Yeah.
We're doing a lot of corrective neck work to balance out those muscles. Because obviously when you're overstretched things going this way, then things this way start shortening up.
Right.
So
yeah,
it's been a lot. It's been a pretty big learning curve and intense.
Yeah.
This isn't going to physio once a week.
Yeah.
This is intense. So
yeah.
But it's good. It's all positive, and I'm starting to be able to see a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, because I was getting, some days I'm pretty emotional because it's just so much.
Yeah. It's a lot.
It is.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to need a butt update in 2 weeks.
I imagine today's bad, tomorrow's going to be brutal, and then I should be okay by Friday, I think. That's usually the progression, right?
Yeah.
With stiff muscles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I wake up in the morning, it's like, oh no, and this is only day 1. Always worse day 2.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Well, it's positive that you have somebody to help you try.
Yeah, I was lucky that I found this guy. I interviewed a number of personal trainers, but this particular one specializes in rehabilitation, living with chronic pain, ergonomics, and yeah, he's been great. I'm not going to the gym and let's pump you up. It's cardio, and then we have to do a whole series of exercises so that my electrical will actually talk to my muscles, because if I do cardio and then we start doing lunges, I have no strength.
Yeah.
Because of that compression.
Yeah.
So we have to open all that up, get everything talking electrically, then we do our exercises. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
good work.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you still come to work with a smile on your face.
I try to. Between the tears sometimes. But I do, yes. I always show up.
You do always show up.
Yeah.
All right, well, on that note, I will be doing a video next week over on my other channel, a little more personal Flosstube for myself, and some things to share. And other than that, we'll be back here in 2 weeks for another Flosstube update.
I gotta go because there's 10 GG shirts that I have to stitch now.
I know.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Yeah, I really like what she's putting out.
Yeah. I have the best job in the world.
It's pretty good.
Happy stitching, everyone. Take care.
I'll see you next week.
See
or
you.
in 2.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.